We have the episode 16 of the Scheuneman Show beginning in spooky environments. We're big spooking it. We're here with Cole Rogan, Marquise Beatty, otherwise known as Marquis. We are, chilling, discussing topics such as the end of the world, the fucking drug addicted frog story that I wrote when I was a small child, edible danger, all kinds of shit. How have you guys been doing?
I've been good. Just chilling, working a lot.
Oh, Cole, you don't even got a fucking mic.
Yeah, Cole, what the fuck? You slacking, bro.
And remember, you gotta hold it up to your cock kissers.
I guess I have a mic now.
Yeah, I know we mic'd up, but yeah, just keep it close to you so they can hear. Cause, bro, we had Dario on last week, and he was just holding the mic like this. Well, they're not gonna hear it, but he had the mic like all the way down in his lap, and he was just practically whispering. So, shit happens.
That's nice. It feels like a high quality mic, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
At least you got some budget.
I'll be watching Impractical Jokers, and I'll realize like similar mics that they're using. Like they keep it bare bones. Like they'll just go in the back of a grocery store with some shitty little Scheuneman mics and start talking about pants and people or whatever it is they do. But shit, bro. So I got back from Chicago. The Chicago trip was a nice success. We got us some sales, got us some followers and shit. But Jesus Christ, driving 6 hours like nonstop from Columbus to Chicago will really make your ass hurt.
So
that's pussy shit.
Dude, nah. I mean, I've driven to Miami and like nonstop and done those long trips. I can do it, but I'm just saying the number one problem for me when I'm making long drives is my ass just hurts so bad.
I bet.
Bro,
you need to
featuring Apollo. I know. Yeah, I know. You gotta behave yourself.
Yo, was it in like a building or like outside or what? Like how was it?
So it was like this big ass like convention center or whatever you want to call it, like a rec center. It was in an indoor stadium type thing on a big like AstroTurf field. It looked like it could have been used for like playing soccer or any kind of sports.
Sure.
And it was taking up like this big ass space, and it was divided into a couple other ones like from a pull down wall, and there were kids playing sports like on the other side of the building. Like we were just doing our thing, they were doing out theirs. So, but it was a big ass environment. Like,
okay.
By the way, what I'm talking about is, if you didn't listen in the last episode, I talked about going to Chicago for this big sneaker convention, and there's like a little bit of streetwear there, but I wanted to go there to just like get out there and network a little bit and try and sell some stuff and get some followers, which we did. So, and plus I'll never complain about a trip to Chicago. Like that's a good time. But
is it at least on the good side?
Dude, that's the thing. I was really hoping that I would like be going to some cool place in the middle of the city, like where it's cool, because the state of Illinois, where Chicago is, it's like
it's not great.
Yeah, the only cool thing there is like Chicago. I mean, I don't know everything about it, but that's what it felt like.
Cornfields and rednecks.
It was pretty much like we just drove around Ohio and just wound up in a different part of it. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, and then suddenly you're just not in Ohio anymore, and you're in, Chicago. And
yeah,
you stop
crazy
anywhere.
Because like the nice parts of Chicago, like you can tell that there's crazy money just fucking floating around.
Yeah.
And then the second that you start getting into the bad side, it doesn't even have to be that bad compared to like what everybody's heard about. But like, dude, I mean, fucking people get shot up, cars get broken into, robbed, stolen. Like, I mean, my
it's
aunt and uncle
everywhere.
Used to
There's
live in
crime
Chicago.
like that, but I mean,
It's dude, like, I mean, she had her car broken into. I don't even know how many times, getting it keyed for no reason. Just 'cause it's parked on the street.
That's an evil person. Let's just key in random ass cars.
When your city is that big and there's that many people that are impoverished like that, and it's it's the same thing as Columbus. Like, even if you live in, a $4,000 a month apartment, like you need to expect that, you're living in a city. Like,
yeah, you got to have your head on a swivel depending on what street you're going to.
Like, understand that most of the people around you are not balling like you. And
Yeah,
so
that's the thing.
When you're living like that and you're driving a nice car, or it's a car, or even a newer car, whatever, or you have a nice apartment, like somebody's gonna see that and they're gonna.
And especially in the hood, they don't have
Get
high
upset.
standards. As long as you got wheels and a fucking working engine.
And dude, shit. Sometimes when I see nice trucks, I get upset. I'm like,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
I'm never keying them though. That's pretty
No,
fucking
no,
ruthless.
I'll
But
go up and look at them, dude. Speaking of nice cars, I was riding earlier. I went out for like a nice 45-minute ride while I was waiting for y'all to pull up, and I was on State Street in Westerville, and I'm just like cruising, and there is a like old collector car show,
Ooh.
and it's
Damn.
like
I love
60s
stumbling upon
it's
some cool shit
50s
like
and
that.
60s classic cars, and dude, like Camaros and Bel Airs, and
hop in
C10s
one and drive away.
old 50 GMC trucks, and dude, it
I,
was.
I like
I
looking
pulled
at
up-
some nice cars, but I don't know if it beats the do you know like the pretty much burnout festival that they'll have at Quaker Steak, where they just bring a bunch of
Like on
like
my
some
birthday
nice
every year,
cars,
yeah.
some beater cars that can just make a lot of fucking smoke. But I mean, that's fun seeing people almost destroy their cars.
Oh,
And
dude, I've seen a lot of people blow up their
Doing-
cars. I was at a car show a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, wasn't even a car show. It was a shit show, and it was like a parking. Like
homie's got like a
huge
Honda
parking
Civic
lot.
parked.
Dude, I mean, it was a huge parking lot at
Got
the
his Crown
airport,
Vic.
and it was just packed. I mean, packed. And it was just a bunch of shitty fucking cars. I mean, there was the occasional, like, oh, that's pretty cool, or oh, that's clean, whatever.
Yeah.
But most of it was, like, squatted, shitty trucks,
Damn.
fucking playing music, whatever.
He's like, bro, check out. I got
And
a
then there would
fucking
be, like,
2000
dude,
black
there was, like-
Honda Odyssey.
Dude, there was a bunch of regular ass, just clapped out cars, just run of the mill, like fucking dude pull up in his Nissan Altima, and he's like, oh, I want to see the cars, and he like decided he's like, oh, I'll park it with the cool cars, like.
Are they at least like sleepers? Like this was just a bunch of just
dude, it was
a normal
regular
ass-
guy car
It
show.
was like you have a parking lot, a huge parking lot where like thousands of people can park, hundreds of people at least,
Yeah.
and it's free. And so like we pulled up, and like I mean, I'd never been to a shit show like that, and dude, it was just a bunch of people blowing their fucking tires off. Like
You just pull up and just get drunk and stare at a Honda. Like you gotta
Hear him
That's
revving.
basically what I did.
get drunk enough
That is
until
basically what
it
I
just
did.
turns into kind of a Lamborghini. Like, oh fuck, I like the
got drunk,
paint job on
I
this one.
in shitty old S10s and Silverados.
Dude,
like,
I saw a
break their
fucking
shit.
Sylvia today, all pimped out. It was pretty sweet. It was all red with black rims. It was fucking
See,
sexy.
I keep telling myself I want to sell all my shit and like get a cool car like that. Get like a 240 or like
Yeah, fucking two.
an E36, like a BMW E36, like that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah.
I know so little about cars. I
Dude,
don't know.
I mean, like okay, something like your dad's BMW. That
Yeah,
thing's- dude,
exactly.
it may have
See,
190K on it,
Ask
but
him
dude,
if I can buy it all the time.
Dude, that
and
thing
it's
is-
just
my
not.
dad
dude,
thinks
it's
he
mint.
needs like 2 backup cars, and
dude, it's mint.
all I
It drives
need,
so good.
all I care about is just that I can get from point A to point B, and it doesn't look like a complete beater. And I need a nice fucking
My
stereo
Nissan
system.
is a beater.
Other than that, I'm just like I don't fucking know.
My truck is like it's funny because my truck's a piece of shit,
Yeah.
but it just looks good, and that's the only reason why I want to hold on to it. Is it's just like too good.
I mean, yeah, you're on like a whole mission to sell through everything you own, but
Yeah,
bro, I got to tell you, when I went to Chicago though, so everything was going good. I made it there. I was a little disappointed because I was crossing my fingers to like that I wouldn't be either having this festival thingy go down in like south side of Chicago. I was just praying it wouldn't be super hood. And then I was also praying that it would be like in the city. I wanted to see like some cool shit. And I didn't want it to feel like completely work. Like I was hoping that it would kind of be in the city so we could have a little bit of fun afterwards. But it was like
I mean,
20
you can have
minutes.
some fun out in Peoria, Illinois, if you know what you're
I
doing.
don't,
But
where the
it's
fuck
not
is
great.
Peoria, Illinois? I
Not
don't.
in the greatest.
Did you
part, dude.
stop anywhere? or
No,
did
I
you
really
go
just went
straight?
straight there. I mean, I stopped at Jack in the Box for food, which, by the way, was just cafeteria food. Like, it just brought me back to middle school days. The Jack in the Box I went to was straight trash. Like the fries I got were cold. It took them like 15 minutes to make the shit. Like it was rough.
That's what you get for Chicago, I guess.
I mean, we weren't even in Chicago yet. I was in like just in the middle,
Rural Illinois.
something like that.
Oh,
But when I got there, we got settled at the hotel. I was like, all right, maybe I'll go to the city. We're like 10, 15 minutes away from it. And then I got a text from the dude I went with. I went with fucking Kells from VBM. Like he's a little rapper friend of mine. And I also went with the owner of A2K. And so we went up there. We got to the hotel and we were like getting settled. And he texted me. He's like, hey, you want to go get some drinks, get a bite to eat? I was like, hell yeah, sure. And then we go out to this bar. And as we're like getting out of the car to go into the bar, like my friend Kells tells me, he's like, I didn't bring my ID. And I was like, bro, we need IDs to do like anything fun in a city.
Dude, you didn't say shit though. I've pulled up to so many bars with you, and you're like,
I got my passport.
ID. But before that, you were like, oh fuck, I forgot my ID. I'm like, what do you mean, dude? The whole point of going out.
I would never go to like New York or Chicago without my ID. Like it's essential.
Damn,
But
he forgot it at home. Like
he forgot it at home. He didn't have one. He was like, I got my birth certificate. I was like, is that on you? He's like, no. But
it seems like once you turn 21, you don't get ID'd for shit.
I get it's always.
I'm saying this is
it's half and half for me.
6 man that does not look very old, but I don't get ID'd for shit.
I mean, we've talked about this many times. The cowboy boots put on about 5 years, so I
The cowboy boots and all the dirt.
that'll you get a cowboy hat, some cowboy boots. They're like, you're old enough to be doing this.
You got to be knowing what you're doing.
But so we're walking up. I'm like, fuck. I mean, I'll show them my ID and we'll see if they're cool about it. Maybe you can like pull up a picture or something. We go up and the guy's cool. He lets us in. He's like, yeah, just don't tell anybody that you don't have your ID and it's last call, so it's fine. I'm like, all right, bet. We sit down at the bar, get a couple drinks, and we start talking to the bartenders, and they give us like this whole rundown on all the cool spots to go to in Chicago, like everything that's open at night, the best strip clubs, the best restaurants, where to get the best Chicago style pizza.
Dude, there is some crazy ass pizza in Chicago for stupid cheap.
Dude, I desperately wanted to try. Like, you know, you've had Giordano's or whatever.
That's not it.
But that's not authentic. So I wanted
corner store fucking little mom and pop.
Exactly, like where they got flies in the kitchen, but they're
sounds
cooking up
so
magic.
You get like a huge ass pizza that's like 2 feet wide for like 20
Dude,
bucks.
and Chicago pizza is like cake. It's one slice will fill you the fuck up. I love it.
Well,
It's
we
like
were getting-
deep dish on
What I
steroids.
remember is they had like, I don't know if it's New York style, but it's a super thin shit. But it's so good. Like if it's done right, it's
Stuff you like fold up and it like floppy pizza.
Yeah, floppy large pizza. And dude, I mean it was like when I was like 8. So what is that? Fuck.
Chill.
Mind the dog. But what was that? 15 years ago. But yeah, it was like it was some bussin' pizza. That shit was good.
Yeah,
Very good.
I think that I think my favorite's got to be Chicago pizza just because it's so different and
If you want to shut the door, you can.
tasty. But New York pizza is sick, and also when you go to New York, you can literally find pizza anywhere. Like you walk down the street and you can find some of the best pizza you've ever had, and they'll sell it by the slice. And
That's how it was in Chicago, from what I remember. It wasn't
we got
crazy deep.
we got date night lighting up in here.
for real, bro. I'm about to pass
About to
out.
get romantic.
Laying over here and
But
shit.
Hold on,
I
there's.
just kissed the
I
mic.
got another light I can plug in.
No, you're good.
All right.
But so this dude gives us this whole rundown of all the cool places that we can go to Chicago, how to have like a dope night up until like 5 a.m. Like he knows his shit. He tells us all the best spots. I'm like sick. Like we're about to have a good night. I was thinking we'd just pass out and then wake up and hustle. But yeah, he gives us all these spots, tells us where the fucking even strip clubs, even pizza that's up at 2 a.m. So I'm like sick. And then we have our drink and we even make plans to meet up with the bartender, like out at these clubs and shit. And so we're like, all right, bet.
Sounds like a bad idea.
And so, he was really cool, and we were in a group, so we were just gonna hit up all these spots. And I mean, he was nice enough to tell us where to go and shit. And So I wrote it all down, and we made this plan. We're like, all right, let's go, and we start driving to the next spot that we were gonna go to get a couple more drinks. Start the fucking buzz, and we pull up to this place, and I'm walking up, and as I'm walking up to the door, this blonde drunk bimbo lady is like stumbling out the front door. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so fucked up. Say hooray for getting fucked up." And she's just like wobbling. And I'm like, "Okay, looks like this is a nice spot. Classy joint."
From what I remember, those are also dime a dozen all over the place.
Yeah, no. So I will go up to the dude, and I remember like, "Oh, my friend doesn't have his fucking ID. Hopefully we can pull it off again." And so I show him my ID, and like, as he's looking at it, I start talking. I'm like, "Hey, so my friend doesn't have his ID, but like we could show you a picture of it, or like I told him his age. I'm like, I promise, like, I'm just trying to have a good night. Like, we're not trying to lie to you." And before I even get all those words out, he stops me and he's like, "Don't even worry about it. I can't let you or you in because of his condition." And he points at me, and I was like, "My condition? What are you talking about?" He's like, "I can tell you're drunk as fuck." And I was like, "Dude, I've had one drink. I had one drink with these people. I'm fine."
Boy.
And he's like, "So sorry, can't do it." And I'm like, "Did you see her? She's like barely making it to her car," like talking about the drunk girl that walked out. And he's like, "Just can't do it." And I was like,
No can do.
"Bro, I was salty.
Yeah,
I've never had a fucking
that's
bouncer
bro.
tell me you're too fucked up to be in a
I've
place where you
taken
get
a
fucked
fucking
up."
Nap in a bar, bud. There's no way. Like I would be like, nah,
we-
sorry, bud.
Dude, and that's like where you go to get fucked up. Why? Like, how are you gonna tell me? And
No.
trust me, I was not fucked up. It's not like I was wobbling around. I had
Boy,
one
you
drink.
just sounds intoxicated.
Dude, I don't know,
I
but
think
Dude, I don't know.
it was really depressing. It ruined the whole night, and I went
you
back.
guys didn't go anywhere else after that.
After that, it's fucked because he doesn't even have his ID to start with.
Oh.
Bouncer just pissed me off,
I remember
and we got to
another
get up
night
in the
that's
morning.
Very, very similar to that happened. You remember me, you, and Bean Burt up in Columbus?
Bean Burt.
I don't want to completely reset the situation, but do you remember that?
No, I don't.
He's a Bean
You
Burt.
and Bean Burt up in Columbus at Bulls?
I mean, I know
Jeez.
every time I've gone, I don't even think I've gone out with him since he was legally going out. You know what I mean? Like, every time I've gone out with him, he wasn't even.
It was like, I don't know, not a year ago, but it was a while ago.
Dude,
Remember
one time, I actually don't remember what you're talking about, but I do remember going to Bulls with him one time, which, by the way, Bulls is just the
Fuck.
devil's playground.
Yeah, no,
don't
it's like
don't go there unless you want to catch a case.
Yeah, no, it's not a great place to be.
And so,
yeah, no.
so I went there one time with him, and we're having a good time. I was under 21, so it's like really the only place we can go, and so we're chilling. We like meet up with a bunch of his friends, and we go up to these like this little spot where I don't know how to explain it, but it's like this elevated part of the club in the back.
Platform.
Yeah, it's like a little platform you can get on, like a mini stage, and we're chilling up there. And then this girl I know walks up to me and she's like, hey Jew, you want a drink? I'll buy you a drink. Come get a drink with me." And I was like, I mean, shit, why not? And I like start to get down, and I'm like, "Hey Robert, I'm about to get a drink." And he's like, "Fuck you, you're leaving me. What the fuck for some pussy?" And I was like, "Dude, chill. I just want a drink. I'm chilling." And he's like, "All right." And so I go to get this drink, and we wait in line, and right after we get the drink, I walk to the back, like outside. I mean the front, to go outside on the patio, and then fucking. Like out of a movie, this guy looks. It's an undercover cop. He's like wearing like a duster jacket and like a fucking like detective hat and shit. Like he looks like an undercover
right
cop.
Before we went to Cabo, right?
Yes,
I
which
remember that.
which is a perfect segue, and it was another thing I want to talk about. But so this is before we went to Cabo, and this guy's like,
I'll just fucking.
Yeah, dude.
this guy's like,
Hold on, I'm gonna turn the fan on. I'm fucking-
crack the door
Yeah.
for me. But
I'll fucking break this.
he's like, "Let me see your IDs," and I was like, "I don't have my ID." And then he's like, "Bullshit," and I was like, "Fine, all right, fine, I'll give you my ID." I give him my ID, and he starts looking at it, and he's like, "You're not legally drinking," and I was like, "Well, this isn't my drink. I'm holding this for my friend." And he's like, "Oh, nice one." And so he goes up to the girl that bought me the drinks, and he's like, I was trying to be respectful to the guy and give him the answers he wanted, so he didn't give me a hard time. And then the girl I was with just starts like screaming at him like, "You're not my dad. Like, I don't need to show you my ID. Fuck this." And she just starts trying to walk away from him, and he like yanks her back. He's like, "No, you get back here." Yeah. He's like, "Give me your fucking ID." And she starts like fighting with him. So, "You're not my dad. You're not my dad. You're not my dad."
Little 120-pound white girl trying to fight a
Yeah,
cop.
dude. I mean, this
Triple her.
she was a little crazy little snow bunny, but she was
Did
acting.
you still hit though?
No, I wasn't even gonna hit, but we all got dispersed because they were talking about bringing her to jail. Like they were like, "If you keep acting out, like we can take you to jail."
Oh,
And
that's
she started to simmer down a little bit after that, but he just gave me a piece of paper and was like, "All right, you're good. Since you were cool with me, we got to deal with your idiot friend." And so I just walked my happy ass out of there after that, and never saw Robert again that night. By the way,
That's not
couldn't even. He was. Oh yeah, I texted him. He's like, "Yeah, I left." His dogs are fucking each other.
We got a zoo.
Gus has got a cone on his goddamn head.
Yeah, dude. Gus is on trazodone too. It's crazy.
Dude, why are you putting your dog on sleeping pills?
So he has a liver.
Gus, you want to buy some Percocet?
No, he doesn't. He's okay. But he has like a liver disease or something, and so we have him on these supplements. And either a side effect of the liver disease or the side effect of the supplements is him, like, he gets fucking really rambunctious around, like, 10, 11 o'clock every single fucking night. Like, he has no energy all day.
Sounds like you need to give him some Adderall.
Dude, that dog sleeps,
laid
like,
down.
23 hours a day. And then 10 or 11 o'clock,
Oh, shit.
dude, he starts wigging out. And then so we got to give him trazodone.
Wait,
It's
so
like
he sleeps all day, and then the one time he's active, you guys are like, "No, go back to sleep." So now he's like sleeping 23 and a half hours of the day.
No idea. I'm talking like, dude, he's freaking out because from what I understand, what the vet explained to me is basically how whatever is wrong with him works is he eats the food and he immediately digests it, or he doesn't digest it, and basically he just immediately has to go shit. He gets no anything from the food. He gets no nutrition
The
at all.
nutrients aren't
No.
hitting.
And so we feed him. He immediately has to go out and shit. It's like a routine.
It goes right through him.
Yeah, right. Like I'm talking within minutes. Like I can come home and have 10 minutes for my lunch break, and I will walk in the door, put a fucking scoop of food in his bowl. He will eat
For a
it.
second, I thought you said scoop of food. I was like, hold up, we got to talk about scoop of food. But all right, scoop of food in his bowl. He eats
And
it.
then he eats it, and then I'm like, "You want to go outside, Gus?" And then I open the door, and he goes right out, and it's mint every time.
So is the trazodone like clogging him up?
Like 10, 11 o'clock at night. No, listen, 10, 11 o'clock at night, it's like all the hunger of the day hits him. Dude,
This is literally me on Adderall.
Goes insane, dude. He starts like running through the house, barking at everything. He'll look at you and just bark at you for 30, 40 minutes. He doesn't give a fuck.
Give me fucking food right now.
I mean, he gets insane.
I mean, this is fucking weird because it sounds like he's on Adderall. Because when I was a
It
kid,
sucks because like, you know, and I think we've all come to terms with this, is like, you know, he's getting older. He's like 11, and he's not like a very healthy breed of dog, and also he's got
Gus
a
is
little
immortal.
he's got a little bit of chunk on him, but he's lived a pretty sick life.
As long as
And
he's still
he has
running,
childhood love
shitting, and
keeping him
peeing,
alive.
he's
Yeah, I
good,
mean,
man.
he's
He'll
been
run
there
around.
through everything with us, and
Yeah.
but you know, unfortunately, we know that, you know, along with him being like this and him getting all crazy, and then he's probably slumped as fuck right now.
He's like, "Nah,
you know,
bro, I'm
he's
still
getting older,
moving."
and like, you know, he's not gonna be here for much longer, which sucks.
What is he in dog years?
My mom was looking at a chart because like what the vet said, like, I don't know if this vet's full of shit or if this is like actually the case, but he said it's a mixture of their weight, the breed, and how old they are in, like, you know, actual calendar years, like since they were born, and it all like plays in somehow, and like different
What
dogs.
the fuck?
Because, like, dude, so my grandparents in North Carolina, they had two dogs. One of them was a beagle. I think it might have been a purebred beagle. And then they had a Jack Russell Feist Terrier. And the beagle was fat as fuck. This thing weighed like 25 pounds at least, 30 pounds maybe. I mean, it was a sausage of a dog. And the fucker lived to be like 23. Like, they fed it biscuits and like spoonfuls of butter and shit. Like, I mean, it was a real southern dog.
There's got to be
And-
certain types of
And
dogs
then
that'll
this
live
Jack
longer.
Russell, dude, listen. I mean, I think I've told you this story before, but dude, this Jack Russell, like, I think it was like a 17-pound dog, like a little dog, not a whole lot bigger than old Apollo here, and this fucking dog would kill everything. Like, it killed snakes, it killed raccoons, possums, badgers, fucking dude, like
Badgers?
everywhere that dog went, they would
Possums?
take it, dude. It killed a fucking deer.
Did
It
he
jumped up and ripped the fucking neck out of a fucking deer.
What
Like, this dog was a literal spawn of Satan.
That's like some
It was
fucking
insane.
assassin shit.
And
Would
when
he
dog-
bring them back to the owner?
When my
Like,
brother was born, my grandparents gave it to us, and this is when we lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I don't think I was even born when we initially got the dog, or I might have been just born. And so, you know, my mom and dad have 2 kids running around. Not like my dad's doing shit, but, you know, mom's got 2 kids running around, and this dog, this little fucking devil dog, can like jump over a fucking fence and
Jesus.
like run into traffic, and
can't
she's
be
just like-
contained.
she's like, I can't
Run
deal
into
with this.
traffic, just
And so we
dodge all
give
these
it
cars.
back to my grandparents, and you know, they take it out on their, you know, more or less a pretty decent sized farm, and there's a bunch of land for it to run around, and fields and woods, whatever, and it can go kill shit, swim through the pond, fucking fight snapping turtles. Like, this dog was the
fuck?
most aggressive dog I have ever seen in my life. And then once it was back in the hands of my grandparents, like, it pretty much became my granddad's dog, and it sat on the back of his rocking chair in their log cabin, and like, it just sat there and guarded him basically.
So it chilled out for him. I was gonna say it doesn't sound like the.
It did not chill out until the day that fucking dog died. Like, it did not give a fuck about anything, and he would guard. He or she? I think it was a she. I think it was a girl. I'm pretty sure. And she would guard him, and like, if you came up and like, you know, as a kid, like, we would, you know, hug him and go to bed, and like, dude, she would start growling at you and shit. Like, she was aggressive. Like, that dog was, but like, I mean, never like attacked me and ripped me apart as a kid. Obviously, I was
It only
little.
protects when it feels like
Yeah,
it needs
but
to.
like, dude, I mean, like, I can remember times that dog would walk up to the fucking porch, and we're all sitting on the back porch, and like, you know, everybody's sitting there drinking and smoking, whatever, and me and my brother are sitting there, and this little ass dog would come up, slip through the, you know, the trellis and the fence, and walk up onto the porch with a fucking dead copperhead in her mouth.
Jesus.
And like, just killed this fucker, got bit all over the face, bleeding and shit. Good dog did not give a fuck.
Yeah, they just want
It-
pets for its
No, dude.
trophy
Like,
kill.
It would like
literally.
walk up there, and the snake's like fucking wiggling around, or whatever, and like, it just, and this was like a regular thing. Like, this dog killed more things than the average man does in his life, and I was, dude, it's like a legend to us. Like, that dog.
I
is
mean,
a
some dogs are straight up bred to kill.
well, and
like,
Jack Russells, and then, you know, Feist Terrier. I don't know what kind of fucking mix that is, but like, they're just crazy ass dogs.
weren't pit bulls literally bred to be like fighting dogs or like guard dogs?
I don't know. But
I-
it just reminded me. It's real sad. Got to bring this up, dude. Driving home from work yesterday, about 5:30. Dude, I'm going under the bridge.
Mike, a
on
little bit
somewhere.
closer.
There is a fucking pit bull sitting on the side of the road, dead, and I just got so sad because I could tell it was really like, it had just
Damn.
like in the
really?
last like half hour. There was like, it hadn't gotten big yet. There was no, it didn't look like there was flies on it or anything. I was like, that's so fucked up. I'm like, somebody just lost a fucking household pet. Like, their kids fucking don't have a dog anymore. And
Dude.
like, it's crazy how, like, you know, we got little Apollo here from a puppy mill for like a couple $100. Gus was $50 on Craigslist. That's a deal right there.
Damn.
$50, dog.
I used to think pets were like incredibly expensive because
Not when
my
you get
childhood cat cost like
Craigslist.
$1,000.
Craigslist. We got Gus off Craigslist. And
Pets are like cars. If you know where to look, you
first
can
dog
find them.
was like $100, or we just paid for the shots and we didn't pay for the dog. But like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, obviously it's not a child, and nobody births, like, nobody, you know, that we know births it, and we can't like talk to him. But like, you know, little Apollo here is like a child. Like, he's like part of the family, and Gus is like, he's like the grandfather. You know, he's just like, Pets just become part of the family.
Yeah, if they're around for long enough, it really feels like there's a connection there, and like they're just chilling with you. That's why I feel like that's why humans have like gotten into getting pets in the first place,
Yeah,
because
it's
there's a
easy
real
companionship.
companionship. Yeah,
But the fucked up part that I think is like people will get pets, and like I know a lot of people, and like it just blows my mind, and it's completely changed my complete perspective on getting pets and stuff. People will get pets like fresh out of college or high school, whatever, first apartment,
just
and they're
hella
not gonna be
busy.
home. They're
Yeah.
not gonna be home. They're not gonna take care of it. Even if they are home, they're not gonna like scoop the litter box or whatever.
So there was.
And it's just like it goes, like it gets out of hand so quickly, and like I've seen like people that I've worked with that I've walked in their house and they have like 2 dogs and a cat, and like
The dog's like twitching on the floor. It's
dude,
like, please,
like
kill
dude,
me.
I'm talking like there are fucking holes in the wall where the dog was trying to kill the cat, and like there's shit piss everywhere on the cabinets, on the counter.
How do you get piss on the cabinets,
Dude, I mean, if you don't clean it, dude, they run out of places to piss.
dude? So
And so like I mean, I can only imagine if I never like if no one ever cleaned up after the dogs and cats here, like 2 dogs, 2 cats, this place would go into it would turn into a farm within a week.
I mean, Gus and Apollo are well taken care of. They're practically pampered. They get their
Oh,
trims
yeah,
and
for sure.
shit. But
Little Apollo here is like I mean, he's probably lived
that's Gus. Oh wait, no, that is Apollo. What the fuck? He's getting big. When they got Apollo, he was literally like you could fit in your palm.
He weighed
It was
like-
a toy dog,
I don't even think he weighed 2 pounds.
bro. I gotta tell you, this Steve, my stepdad, the dog that he got for his kids and that I kind of grew up with when I was at that house. Did you ever meet Sophie? It was his black lab, and the way he got that dog was from somebody like what you're talking about. Like, apparently one of his neighbors that like he lived by this guy, and he would see this dog like get chained up in the backyard just on like this long pipe in the ground, and he'd be gone for like days sometimes and just leave the dog there with like a high pile of food. Don't worry about it. But he'd just leave it there for days, and eventually we'd run out of food, and it would just start sleeping through the hours until it got let back inside. And so that started eating at Steve and fucking with him. So one day it was like in the middle of winter, and they had left for like a week, and he saw the dog just laying down in the cold, the water bowl frozen, no food. It's snowing outside, like it's being tortured. And so Steve was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, he doesn't deserve this dog. He hopped the fence, went in, took the dog, and then just took it, and then went back and left a note. And he was something along the lines of, like, clearly you're not caring for this dog as it should be taken care of, so I'm going to take it. If you have a problem, here's my address. And so he just took the dog, and you could
He's a real badass. I've met
Oh,
him
yeah.
before. He's a kind man, but he's also a badass.
No, he's told me some stories,
Yeah.
but and you could tell that dog had been fucked with. Like, there was this one thing which I eventually started thinking was funny because I mean it's taken
So he
care
did
of
this
now,
as
but
an adult when you were a kid.
yeah, this was when he got that dog when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old,
Shit.
and so this dog was so tortured from its past that something happened to it. If you blew on the dog, like just blew on it a little bit, sprints around the house. It would just start doing laps, like sprinting as fast as it could. Like it was like it had just gotten cocaine straight to the veins. Like, and there was this one time where I think somebody accidentally shut it in the basement and went to work. And so the dog was in the basement, couldn't get out. And then we get back home and we didn't know. And we walk up to the door and there's literally a chewed out hole that it got through the door. Like it chewed its way
Just
through the
freaked
door.
out and
Yeah, because it's like, not this again, not this again, not another long winter.
trapped.
And dude, there was like blood along the edges of the door and like fur and shit. We felt so bad. But
You know what's like really crazy to me though, and like I've had this conversation with some people. I want to hear you guys' opinion on it. So, I saw this thing on TikTok, and it was this guy, and I think he was like European or Australian or something, and he was going into like the very rural parts of South Africa, and like where they eat everything that they can because you live in a desert and there's no food. And so
First, let me say, I
they
don't think
have-
I would ever go to Africa. I can't think of a reason.
well, I wouldn't really. I can't really think of a great reason for me to go to Africa either.
I don't want to
But
get mauled
anyways-
by a hippo.
Anyways, so this guy, and I think he has a team. He might have some connections there. I have no idea, but I just saw a couple of videos and I was like, I don't know, that's crazy to think about. So he goes to these dog meat markets, okay,
Would you?
and he rescues these dogs. Listen, what my point is here is, okay. At the end of the day, if there's wild dogs running around and your kids are starving to death, okay, and there's no food.
Fuck a pet.
That, like, they're not pets. I'm talking like they're wild dogs, and obviously to us it seems very inhumane and it seems crazy, but, like, what is your opinion on that? Are you
No,
going
that's
to
what I'm
let
saying.
yourself die before you let, in general, a wild animal die? Even if you, like, if you have a pet ferret or a pet groundhog, and you see a groundhog running around and you're starving to death, are you going to be like, oh, well, I'm sorry, Jimmy? Like,
I'm
I
sorry,
can't
you're
do
going to
it.
have to be hungry today. There's a kitten right here. Look
Yeah,
how
like-
cute it is. Come here, kitty.
Or are you going to, do the thing that you need to do as a human being and survive? And, like, it made me think about that. And, like, there was a bunch of people in the comments talking about that. And I was like, who is anybody to go and take somebody's fucking food away? I mean, like, you have no idea what these people have, gone through and, like, what their kids are going through. And
Imagine you find like two people starving on like a desert island. You just fly in, land, and you're like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" And they have this dog chained up that they're about to eat, and they finally found food, and they're starving to death. And you're like, "Hey, this could be somebody's pet. What are you doing?" And you just take the dog, and then they die. Like yeah. If I was starving, I'll.
You see what I'm
of
saying?
course, here I love
In America,
cats. I
we are
love
very, very
animals.
fortunate.
I want a pet. I care about them, But if it's essential and you're in a place where you don't have food, I'll kill a fucking kitten and eat
This is
it.
a very great segue. So, like, for example, in the end of the world,
I was
if-
literally thinking the same
I mean,
thing.
and I would not be here in this location if that was the circumstance and that was what we were going through. But if it got down to it and there's no food left and there's a couple of pets, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna watch my family die and let myself starve to death. I mean, I can only imagine that is horrible to go through. When
Yeah.
there is,
You're chilling at the crib out, and then all of a sudden you run out of food, and you have Gus, right, and Apollo.
well, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here. I would not. I think staying in a centralized location is your worst bet.
Yeah.
Yes, there may be supplies, but if you're smart, you're already good to go.
We were talking about this the other day. It's like if the world started ending and, shit was about to hit the fan and you knew it. We were
Well-
talking about how you would prep for that and what you would bring, where you'd go.
I mean-
and we were saying, like, if you got to get a bug out bag and get out of your house to a safer place for the end of the world to, like, be ready for shit to hit the fan, we were saying, like, yeah, we'd probably bring the house pets. I mean, maybe keep them alive for a second, but as soon as food gets low,
Dude,
I mean,
listen,
we're eating,
hey,
eating Gus.
No. Listen, valid point here. Okay, so if it's the end of the world, I'm sure there's not a way to really drive anywhere. I'm sure everything is locked down, traffic fucked, cars sitting.
I bet you could drive a couple places after shit is settled and shit's fucked up.
listen,
But when
if
it's
I'm-
really
if
hitting
I'm
the
trying-
fan
if
and there's
I'm trying to
traffic
go-
jams everywhere,
If I'm trying to
like-
go anywhere from 20 miles away, which is just into, the middle of the city, basically, that's about 20 miles, or going 200-300 miles out into a different part, a different state, different, biome, basically, like, there's not going to be a way to really drive there. And if you think that there's just going to be open roads and it's just going to be, there's not cars, shit everywhere, like, it's going to be really bad. I'm sure there is going to be shit everywhere, looting, burn shit.
plus where are you going to get gas?
Exactly.
And if you think gas prices are high now, if shit's really hitting the fan, it's not going to be at the pump or the price. It's going to be like $30 a gallon.
So, let's put this in perspective. We're trying to survive, and there's people, personally, when I think of the end of the world, I think everybody is going crazy, and everybody is looting, and everybody's shooting, and I mean, they're just trying to get as much as they can to survive, which is
Strays
that is-
everywhere.
that is the human response to, being faced with a situation like that.
I mean, you saw
So-
COVID, dude. That was spooky.
Yeah, I mean,
when
like,
people started
you
getting
watched-
spooked about COVID, you go into a grocery store, it looks rough. Like,
And right now, I mean, dude, like with the way that gas prices are, and there are shortages on things that are like, I mean, like, I work in the steel industry, and the steel surcharges and the pricing of every single consumable that we use is, I mean, it is just insane. Things have tripled, quadrupled in price in the past 2 years, and it's still going up. And the gas prices are definitely not helping.
once again, 8 by the end of the summer. It's gonna get
that's
so
what
bad.
that's what I keep saying. It's
And-
going to be 8 for unleaded by the end of the summer in rural Ohio.
Dude, okay, so let's just start off by saying, what do you think is the most likely trigger of like an apocalyptic event? And let's just assume this isn't something like a meteor that just destroys the environment. Like, it's got to be something where it's like possible to have
inflation?
stragglers of.
Dude. Or
You think people are just gonna spaz out because of how bad the economy is, that it's all gonna
dude,
crumble?
yeah. I mean, dude, like there are people that are already like, I mean, people are acting out, obviously, but it's either going to be that or it's going to be a situation that we get put into with another country, and it's a huge disagreement, or it'll be like I mean, it doesn't have to be the end of the world for it to be the end of America.
Yeah, that's.
End of what we know as the world and everything that we've ever seen. And,
It feels like America's
One
kind of
way-
on the brink of not being like a
Yeah.
superpower
it
anymore.
seems like, I mean, like not just in, it's crazy, but not just in my personal life, but in the world as a whole, it seems like everything is reaching a breaking point. And it is crazy to watch things go down the way that they're going down. People arguing, disagreeing over things that don't have any effect. It's victimless crimes that are not crimes,
And no,
whatever you want to do, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, like who is anybody to say, like,
and nobody can be on the same page about that.
No,
people are wanting to fight about things that we shouldn't be fighting
you're
about.
valid
Like,
to have your opinion, and I'm valid to disagree with you and think you're stupid, and that is
But-
completely okay. And people need to understand that is, like everybody can have their different viewpoints, but if you're killing people over it, like, what are we fucking doing here?
And the way people are now is if you disagree with someone, they feel like you are trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Like they spaz, and that's why
Yeah.
it feels like there's true chaos right now in the world, because it's like one bad disagreement could just turn everybody against each
You
other.
got an
and
American
then
flag sticker on the back of your, car, and somebody
you
wants
look
to
like an
fucking shoot
enemy
you.
now, because
Yeah.
I truly think that's like Russian bots that
Dude,
did that. Like, the American flag has become a symbol of you're an asshole. Like, it's so fucked up. America used to be about like pride, like, oh, I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be an American. Now if you have an American flag on your t-shirt, like, it clicks in people's brains. They just kind of,
And I think it goes hand in
they'll
hand.
just be like, oh, you're kind of racist probably.
Yeah, and it's fucked up, and it goes hand in hand with the whole, like, everybody disapproves of any kind of authority at all, whether that be the government, and I understand the government is fucked up right
Nobody
now.
trusts them.
But people being against police, and I understand there's bad cops, trust me, I've encountered them, but also people have to understand there are good cops, and I've met good cops, and I know good cops that are genuine good people with families, and they're just dudes that genuinely care about the people around them and the community, and they're just trying to do good. And yes, there are going to be some bad apples, just like there are when you go to the grocery store and you meet some dumb bitch at the register, and she is just
Literally
yelling at you.
apples. Some of them are bad.
Yeah.
No, but that's the other fucked up thing is
Like-
there's good cops and there's bad cops. And one thing that worries me is it feels like people who are being assholes to police as a whole, thinking they're all bad,
It's
created
making-
more bad cops, because
Dude,
the good cops are so like they
No-
care about the
nobody-
people that
none
they're
of them want to
protecting.
go and, like, I don't want to speak on this because it pisses me off, and I think the whole situation is absolutely ridiculous from a couple of different angles, but like the whole situation in Texas with the shooting, and like the cops were standing there.
That was just
watching
completely
this shit.
disgraceful. I meant to mention that on the last
that is
couple
an
episodes.
example of some bad cops that are just either they are too scared or something is going on.
I think they were scared. I don't think those people wanted kids
But,
to die,
okay, for
obviously.
example,
But
like-
do you know how long he was in there? Like the shooter was in that
Quite a
schoolroom
while.
like an hour. It was like an hour and 10 minutes.
And it
Can
took
you imagine?
It took some American patriot to go in there and end the situation.
Off duty. He was an off duty border patrol agent.
Not even a cop.
Yeah, dude. And he's like, "What are you guys doing?" Like he just took the wheel.
I can't say that I would have done the same thing, but I also cannot say that I would have sat there.
But I kind of think you would.
Dude, I mean, like, you can't sit there and watch something like that and your blood not boil. Dude, I mean, you like the weapons that the dude had, and you're hearing the gunshots go off.
And they're kids,
Dude.
not middle schoolers, not high schoolers, which is
Doesn't
also
matter,
sad.
Dude. You could go into a fucking a Walmart or anywhere. You go into any establishment and it's not a fucking combat zone and people aren't ready to fucking fight back and shoot you in the face. Like, what
No, of course, but I'm
fuck?
saying it's just that should take it up another notch. That makes the pussies become not pussies because you just have to protect these
I mean,
children.
in high school, I mean, from at least what the people that I talked to, because, like, we talked about this stuff. I talked about this stuff with the people in my classes. I was like, what the fuck would you guys do if somebody came in the school and
I know
started
some motherfuckers who'd be strapped.
I would
Like-
be grabbing the nearest fire extinguisher and fucking standing right by the door ready to spray that motherfucker and then crack him over the head with that shit. I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
if you got a gun or not. When you're blind and then you get smacked in the head with something that weighs 25 pounds, you're probably going down.
I mean, I'll be honest. My game plan, if there ever was something like that going on, I always knew I would dip. Like I would just jump out of a window, like, because I don't have a gun on me at school, so I'm not gonna do much.
Is Big Gus sitting over there?
But there needs to be like tests for these police officers that, like, well, not only that, but there needs to be a test for if you want to be a police officer, you got to prove you're not a pussy. Like if shit is really going down, how are you gonna act? Because it really sounds like these people were trying to disguise their pussy behavior as, oh, we need to be tactical. Like, no, you're not being tactical. You're just waiting outside of the room.
Waiting for people to die.
Yeah, like this off-duty guy just came in, realized what was going on, and breached the fucking room. Like
Watching stuff like this and hearing about people being disrespectful to cops and cops not doing their job right or being scared to do their job right because of the view of the public, like, that makes less people want to be police officers, and that is not great. No matter what anyone thinks, if we have no authority and anyone can do whatever the fuck they want, things are going to get bad very quickly.
I mean, dude.
No matter what country, no matter what state, no matter when or where, things will get really rough.
And back to kind of what I was saying is, these people who think that all cops are bad started treating them so shitty during that summer of riots and everything. And now the good cops are like, oh, they're kind of acting like assholes if they're doing this, but they're thinking like, oh, you don't need my help? Then let's see how it goes when you don't get my help. Like, so some of these cops are just not wanting to do their job anymore because they're not appreciated. Like, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if this was the school shooting situation or a different one, but I heard an example of some guy calling the cops. I think it was a school shooting. A person called the cops about what was going on, and they, like, put them on hold. They were like, I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear. Oh, no, this is a completely different thing. She was like, this girl was being chased by a murderer or something, and she was trying to call for, like, the police because she's getting, like, kidnapped, and she was whispering, and he was like, I can't hear you, and hung up on her. And, yeah, he got fired. Did you hear about the cops that watched that guy drown? That's kind of a hot button topic.
What the fuck?
So pretty much, I think it was in like Austin or something, someplace in Texas. This, I think, homeless guy was talking to the police about an unrelated subject matter, and during the conversation, he like just kind of walked up to this bridge and like stepped over the ledge and then just kind of jumped in, and they were like, dude, we're not going to come in after you if you jump in. And he just still jumped. And they just watched him drown. So, like...
That's fucked up.
Yeah, like, I can't think of any excuse. Like, yeah, I know. You're like, oh, we told him that we wouldn't help him and he still did it. But, like, come on, dude. He died.
Like, you can say whatever you want, but you have to be a certain special type of fucked up person. Like, no matter what the class of person, no matter how they are, what they're doing, who they are, what they've done to you, like, to watch somebody fucking die in front of you, like, unless, you're, facilitating this and you have reason. Like,
Yeah.
To watch somebody sit there and just die in front of you and not do anything about it, like, what are you doing?
Especially that
Like,
kind
pull
of
your
terrible
phone out
way.
and record, like, and that's the thing now. Like, oh, let's
I feel like
record it.
more than half of the people in this general population see some shit go down, and more than half of them, their first inkling is to, oh, let me pull my phone out and record this. Like,
I want to show some people.
oh, maybe you should help the situation not be so fucked or get yourself out of danger. But I guarantee you, bro, if the world really does end, there's going to be a lot of good TikToks. Like, cause there's going to be motherfuckers, like, doing dances in the streets. Like, oh, look at
God. And
the
they get
gas
run over
station
by a
fire
fucking
behind me.
tank.
So, what do you think it'll be? I kind of think it'll be, like, I could see Russia starting these rolling blackouts that people are talking about. Like, some high up people have said you should expect rolling blackouts and it'll be normal. And they have the technology to shut off our power grid.
I mean, honestly, like
That's the
most
closest thing to a
The most
nuke.
reasonable assumption that I can come to, and like I can't think of an immediate thing that's going to cause the end of the world, and like inflation sucks, but like when gas prices get to the point that they're like $8-10 a gallon or whatever, and then we stop getting fucking gas, people are going to lose their minds. There's not going to be any order. Nobody's going to want to ride a fucking skateboard to work. Like, fuck no. We're going to start shooting people. Unfortunately, I'm sure it will end up coming to something like that, and everyone will turn on each other.
I don't think...
Because nobody can agree on anything right now, and, like, any administration that we have is not really helping with this. And, it is just, everything right now is a super slippery slope. And the fact that...
Especially the fact that Putin's nuts and he has his hand on the button, even though I don't really think...
our own government is not doing a whole lot for their own people right now. I mean, we could very easily, it wouldn't solve any problem. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be like, oh, we got $1 gallon gas now. Nobody. It's going to be a long way until we're back to that, and I don't think it will ever be back down to...
I don't think we'll ever be that cheap.
Like it was in the Trump administration. But
this that cheap in like Afghanistan, right? Like in the Middle East, like gas is dirt cheap.
But they don't have there's no central plumbing or electricity. So like I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying like
I'm
it's
good, bud.
It's cheap somewhere.
Like I'm gonna be riding my fucking motorcycle on a mountain road, ripping some dank wheelies, and I'm gonna fucking hit a landmine and blow up and die. Like I'm good. I'd rather, deal with this shitty situation, but
you just made me think of some fried shit.
At the end of the day, like I think that will end up being what at least sparks something really crazy in America is going to be the inaccessibility to goods and services and getting the basic needs that we think we need, not food and water and a fucking place to rest your head, nah, like gasoline and fucking weed and Percocets.
I mean, I hear water is about to be one of the most valuable resources.
I don't give a fuck, buddy. I got a lake. I know how to build a fire. I'm good to go.
But that's
like, fuck you.
That's the tip of the iceberg is when water starts being expensive. Like that's rough.
Oh, well, that sucks, bud. But I mean, like I said, I gotta, and my worst case scenario where I would go, I got a fucking well, and it's a septic tank, bud. Like get fucked. Like,
dude, I heard well water is like the best water you can actually get.
Dude, this is like mountain well water and there's no sulfur in it. Dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck your Brita filter, dude. I will drink this shit straight out of the fucking ground. Dude, get fucked. Like,
I mean, it's naturally filtered. I've actually heard that it tastes good.
Dude,
like
it's ice cold.
It shits on Voss water.
Minerals in it. It's filtered through moss and fucking, buttery grass
stones and shit.
Like, dude, yeah, no, like and it's like, fortunately, and I know this, is most of the people in this, country, I wouldn't say in this world, because, outside of this country, people have a little bit, not in third world countries, but, for example, Australia, I think people probably can figure their shit out a little bit better than we can. But, I mean, most of the people in this country have no fucking idea which way is up. I mean, if shit started going down, they're not going to know how to find food and water and build a shelter out in the wilderness.
They can barely find their way to a Wendy's
navigate a fucking map to get where they're trying to go without Google Maps when an EMP goes off. Like, get fucked, bud. You're stuck. Like,
that's one of those things where phones and shit like that have genuinely made people dumber.
That is one thing that I'm truly like happy about, is that if things ever did get to that point, I am confident in my ability to at least save myself. If not everybody around me, like, I'm going to at least live for a little bit, and I'm going to be able to see what's going on, and, you know.
Yeah, I'll be having panic attacks, but I think I could hoof it and do it.
I think, honestly, in, like, even without, you know, without any vices, you know, drinking, smoking, nicotine, anything at all, you're going to be so preoccupied with trying to survive and trying not to die.
Oh, yeah.
Being on alert all the time, that you're not going to think about stress or none of that is going to matter, because you're truly doing the primitive, you know.
I think boredom is like a new thing, because nobody ever had the time or energy to be bored until now.
Like, boredom when fucking. Yeah, no.
When you got fucking looters chasing your ass and you gotta get dinner for tonight or else your child's gonna die, like, you can't be bored. Like, oh, I wish I could play PlayStation, but dude,
that's another thing I think video games have completely ruined people. Like, I mean, you know, I understand you get bored and, like, there's rainy days, and trust me, like, you know, I got Netflix, like, I love sitting and watching some fucking good shows, but, you know, there's no way in hell I'm gonna sit for 5 hours a day, 4 hours a day, even if I'm working, you know, come home from work.
Well, there's a wrong way to do anything. Like, if you're playing video games for like half an hour every here and there, like, that's not bad, but people can get addicted to that shit, and then they'll take it to a crazy extent where you should never be playing that much fucking video games. I can't play video games. Like, I just got a PS5. I can't even enjoy it because I'm just sitting there like, oh, well, there's so much more I could be doing right now.
There's things to actually do that are real life and not fake.
Yeah, I mean, it has its value. Like, every now and then you want to, you know, run over some prostitutes in GTA, but
you can't always go out and go to the shooting range or go out and go for a hike or.
Dude, you just made me think of something completely random, though. Did you hear about, there's this, like, guy that's, like, running this fucking, his own little country, he calls it, in the middle of Nevada. Like, he's calling it, like...
I've watched videos on it. I forget what it's called, but yeah, I watched the fucking...
It's so goofy, bro.
I watch? It was a Yes Theory video on it, and they went out there and they talked to this dude, and he was, like, super weird.
I didn't see a video where they talked to him, but I mean, it's just this like fat little white dude that's putting on a fake accent.
And he has like a whole get up too. He's like a captain.
And he like put a bunch of money into this plot of land in the middle of Nevada. He puts up like illegal signs.
There's like a bunch of little shops and stuff. It's crazy.
I haven't seen the shops. The video I saw.
We're talking about a different thing.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're talking about the same thing.
I saw a video where this guy literally just had like a plot in the desert. He had like a border patrol little station.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of illegal signs. And the funniest thing is he randomly just put up signs that say there's landmines around. Like, he has signs that'll say, like, watch your step, landmines. And then there'll be, like, a sticker from the state government saying, like, this sign is illegally placed. Like, it's so weird. Like, number one...
Where the fuck does he find these signs?
I mean...
Hey, bro,
you can
look
get
at all my signs.
Yeah, look, you
hard.
can find all kinds of fucking signs if you want to.
Like, yeah, I got...
You can get them made, too.
Dude,
but
I gotta take a little intermission real quick.
But fucking... This dude... literally has citizens in this fake country. Like, it doesn't exist. There's no infrastructure or anything, but he's got people into his scam probably because people are so fucking lost, which goes back to the chaos of how things are today. Like, people are so confused at what life is and what they should be doing that they're signing up to be citizens of a fake country in the middle of a real country. Like, it's fucking insane. Yeah, I think there's like certain laws. I didn't do like a bunch of research into it, but when I wake up in the morning, I'll just scroll through YouTube and watch super random videos. Like, the most random videos I ever watch is the ones I watch when I first wake up in the morning. I'm like half asleep watching a video about a fake country. Like, but yeah, he's. Oh yeah, you can lose hours, dude. Fucking. Yeah, the world's ending, bro. But
It's
when
different.
when Cole gets back in here, I want to talk about the time that I fucking almost got entrapped by this cartel dude. I think crazy ass fucking cartel dude tried to get us kidnapped and sell our organs or something. It was wild, but
You and Cole?
yeah, dude. When we went to Cabo, we met a fucking crazy looking dude. But I want to wait till to get his take.
Beefy looking dude.
I mean, dude, you'll hear about it. But dude, did you hear they fucking apparently are working on a drug that is 100% effective to cure cancer?
Oh yeah,
That 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 even spooks me about the end of the world, because every horror movie you see about zombies, they're like, yeah, like a miracle drug, and then that drug fucking makes them into zombies. Like, it's I could see it backfiring, but then they do so many tests on a drug before they get it out to everybody that I mean, it'd be hard to fucking start an apocalypse through Tylenol, but it's just wild. And dude, I'm also worried about viruses and shit, like
parasite that goes in like a moose's brain.
the ants' heads, and it like takes control of them. And
Like,
You want water?
sure,
oh please.
Do you want a beer? I brought you a beer because I figured you drink beer.
but
Okay.
dude, I was talking. No, I'm good. I was talking about.
I'll take a
Are those deadly cookies that you?
Dude, y'all can.
Are they the cookies, bro? Let me just say, I had to get.
It's fine. It's just magical.
Nah, okay, whatever. I don't want your magic cookies that made me get picked up by my dad.
No, because you're good.
No, fuck your magic
You got
cookies.
nothing to do.
I might pick one up, but I don't. Not right now,
Dude, you can take the smaller one too.
dude. Everything you feed me just fucks me up into oblivion.
Put it right there.
All right, dude, put it on my journal.
dude, it's
But I was talking about. Do you remember when we met that fucking cartel-looking dude in Cabo, bro? So we were sitting on the beach just smoking. Bro, it's hilarious. He desperately wants it. Try harder.
Come on, buddy.
He made it. He was like, But yeah, we were like smoking a joint on the beach in Cabo, fucking enjoying ourselves, just sitting there looking at the ocean. And then all of a sudden, this guy just creeps up on us from the side, and this dude is wearing like robes and like wrapped in like cloth all around him.
Shambles.
He had a cast on his fucking arm. And it was like a dirty ass cast. He had like a hood on, but it looked like a towel hood. Like, it was just crazy. And so I don't know if he said something to us or we said something to him. I think he walked up to us and he's like, "You guys need any weed?" And we're like, and right as we looked at him, scanned him, and then like he asked the question, I looked back at Cole and we already knew, like, this guy is no good. We're not buying whatever he has to sell. So let's just get him to think we're interested, but leave us alone. So we were like, "Oh, yeah, how much for this much?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, $20." Blah blah. Blah. He's like, "I gotta go get it though." And we're like, "Oh, perfect. We gotta go get money from our room. So let's meet back here." And he's like, No. We can't meet back here. Meet me at that bathroom." And he points over at this like abandoned looking bathroom off on the side of this off on the side of the pool area in the resort. Like, we could see it from our room. So we're like, "All right, yeah, sure." And so we go to walk up back to the room to make him think we're getting money, but really we're actually kind of terrified by this strange man. And I forgot to mention, he had like Motorola phones, like burner phones and shit.
GPS phone.
Yeah, like with an antenna.
Not okay.
Yeah, nothing was good about this man and his business. But we go back up to the room and we're almost getting to like the building, and he's already at the bathroom waiting for us, and he has like a flashlight. He keeps flashing at us like, Aki, I'm here I got the mota right here. Like,
Fucking Morse code.
yeah, he's trying to do Morse code at us, like telling us he's ready and shit. And we're like, "Oh, we gotta get the money." And so we go back up to the room and start like discussing what just happened. And we're like, "Yeah, dude, this guy's just sitting at the bathroom waiting for us to buy a 20 sack. Like, this can't be good." And then we're sitting on the balcony just talking about it, and we can see him. And then he looks and realizes we're up there and starts flashing the light at us again. He's like, come down here. And like flashing the light. And we're like, no, I'm good. And so we were just chilling there for a little bit. He's standing there for a while. And then all of a sudden this like, what do they call the fucking police in Mexico?
Yeah.
Well, no, Policia, and then there's
Federales.
the federales pull up, and they're literal like police
Did I know
truck.
that there was a car that he got into before the Federales? I wasn't really paying attention.
Well, I think so. He was waiting there at the bathroom,
Got into a.
and then a car pulled up, and he got into the regular car, and he waited in the car.
And they're like
and-
flashing their lights, honking their horns, like making a scene, and it's like 2 a.m. and
Yeah.
we're in fucking Cabo at like a retirement home, basically.
And we're like not interested in the marijuana anymore. And so and then the police truck pulls up, and he gets out of the car he's in and sits in the police truck.
Throws his backpack in the trunk of the police truck, or in the bed, and then he hops in the passenger seat, and we're just sitting there like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, so immediately we're just thankful we didn't go there, because he probably would have tried to ransom us, like, hey, you're gonna get arrested if you don't pay this much money, or B, like, sold our livers and organs to the cartel because we're healthy Caucasians. But no, that was spooky.
Yeah, it would have been spooky and definitely a setup type of deal. Like,
I mean, the cops pulled up, and then for the rest of the trip, we were watching that bathroom like it was the den of thieves. Like, we were just like, nothing's good is going on in that fucking bathroom. And that's probably a trick he does on every tourist. Like, he's like, oh yeah, go to this bathroom. Let's.
And it was so funny when we went to Aruba, how fucking blown away we were. I mean, it wasn't cheap, for sure, but like, I mean, when in Rome, you're in Aruba, and dude, the weed was fucking insane. It was so good, and nobody.
That's
was
what
sketchy.
shocked me the most.
Nobody
Like,
was sketchy.
dude, when I found the weed in Aruba, it was as easy as going up to the dock. And this dude was chilling there with a backpack, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? You need some weed? And I was like, exactly.
Like, sure.
Exactly.
thank you for being.
It was,
Like,
and then
what a
I
fucking
know we got
place.
another girl that looked like she was straight out of Ohio, just driving around in a Honda, like selling weed to us. And she's like, "Yeah, I just do this when like I go to the resorts and pick up all the tourists, and I always make my money that way."
Bro, that's smart.
Well, dude, let me tell you another story.
That's scary.
So I was in South Carolina one time, Myrtle Beach, and we were looking for the same kind of thing. We were looking for weed, and then we find this guy straight up. No. Sorry. The girl walks up to us. She's like, "You guys need any weed or any drugs or anything?" We're like, "Yes, we need weed. Take me to your leader." And so she like brings us to this parking lot, and like this Escalade is sitting there, and then this guy steps out that looks straight like a Walmart version of Gucci Mane. Like he's like looks face of Gucci, fat body of old retro Gucci, tattoos all over him. Nice ass Escalade. He gets out and we start talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, so we just like every summer we'll go down the coastline and stop in every city and sell drugs, and then we make like a shit ton of money because everybody's going out for summer vacation." And I was like, "That's like you said, it's genius because you find where they need it." And but yeah, apparently he was making a good little living off of that. The trip. And the Myrtle Beach trip was wild because we went up there in the middle of summer, and I hadn't ever been to Myrtle Beach.
Bro, one of the fucking dogs just farted.
No, dude, dog farts are the worst,
Oh, just smell it.
bruh. Fucking,
Guys.
oh, I wish I could reach my sound effects buttons.
Fucking
We need an air horn for the dog fart.
Paul's like licking the air trying to taste it.
Oh, dude, I think I smell it. Fuck,
Just finish the cookie.
I can taste it. Just- But yeah, apparently in Myrtle Beach, every summer they'll have like this. I want to call it a parade because I don't know what else to call it, but it's like a street parade. They'd have like lifted cars and cars with like
Just a bunch of fucking trucks.
yeah, huge lifted trucks with underglow and shit, and they would fill up the boardwalk road, like the road right next to the beach. It would be bumper to bumper, but they'd all be bumping music. They'd have people in the back beds
people in
of the
the beds.
trucks drinking. You'd hop from truck to truck. It was so lit. Like, we literally got in a stranger's truck, sat there, had some drinks with him, hopped out of that truck, went into a different truck. Like, it was like food trucks, but just trucks.
Just open drinking. Just open drinking trucks.
Yeah, and we met this one dude named Charlie, and he brought it, like, he was wild, bro. Like, he brought us to his, I don't know, hangout spot. Like, it was this,
Layer.
yeah, it looked like a lair. It was like a big college campus kind of building, and him and all his friends lived there, I guess, and he was like, we're going to hang out here. I just got to go in and okay it with everybody inside. He goes in, we don't see him for 5 minutes, and then he comes out, and we see him in the backyard just fighting this dude. And, like, he sees us, and he's like, my bad, bro, I owed homie some money. Hold on 1 second. And he just continues fighting. Like, I guess he, like, owed some dude money at his house, and he's, like, had to fight for his right to have friends over. But, yeah, well, that was the last we saw of Charlie, but he was a fun guy.
That's
Last we
crazy.
saw it, damn.
Have you ever seen an MRI of a baby? Dude, so usually people, what is it that people get? They'll get a no, right? It's not a CAT scan.
CT scan.
They get some scan to see the baby and how big it is and its little penis.
Oh, what is it? Ultrasound.
Yeah, an ultrasound. That's how you're supposed to do it. But if you get an MRI of a baby, it is the spookiest shit.
You know, with all the radiation.
I'm sure it does. I mean, I've heard that there's like rocket fuel and breast milk now because of how much radiation that's around us and in the soil and the food we eat. Apparently, somehow, there's like rocket fuel and breast milk. I read that article sometime. I don't know. I believe it. But
I don't. That's fucking cap, buddy.
bro, I mean, I believe that breast milk isn't the same as it used to be. It can't be after a couple of combo meals at McDonald's. Like, that's gotta fuck up the milk you produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the fucking chemicals and shit they put into food
Hey,
and
bro, all I'm saying is I don't know. I don't know.
What if you grow your own shit? What if you're vegan too?
what?
What if you're vegan and you grow your own herb?
That's what I'm saying. It's like in the soil. There's like
What the fuck are we talking about right now?
I literally heard this. There's rocket fuel in breast milk
We're
because of
talking
what's in the
about-
soil,
Bro, what
because of how fucked up the world is.
What the fuck?
Do you remember when they used to fucking test nukes in the Nevada desert?
Yeah, my fucking papa was there for one of them.
That would be sick. Like, I could see
It
it.
wasn't sick for him because he went fucking deaf and he lost all his senses and all his hair fell.
What was
out.
he doing
Fucking
there?
Crazy, dude. Watching the fucking nukes go off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if those were happening right now, we're the type of friend group that would be like,
forget what
let's
the
go watch
I
them.
forget what it was called, what the exact test was called, but like
It wasn't the Manhattan Project, was it?
I mean, he was at a couple big giant nuke explosions in Nevada
That would be sick.
back in the day, and yeah, it's pretty fucking radical.
Dude, I could see, like, Rolling Loud doing a festival
I don't
for
know.
those.
I might be wrong. Maybe he was at one of the ones that was on the fucking ocean. I don't know.
I mean, those would be harder to get to because they did those in the middle of the
And
ocean.
those were way worse.
Yeah.
But like,
Because they're like, we don't know what's down here, so fuck
all I
it.
remember is like there was a very brief period of his time where I was old enough to want to talk about it and want to hear about it, and he was there enough like mentally to remember what was going on and not be like, well, where's my cereal? So, but like I do remember him saying like, and hearing that like they stand up after the shit goes off because they can't look at it when it goes off because you'll go fucking blind. And then, like, the fucking wave just absolutely demolishes everybody.
Yeah, because how would they know how big the shockwave is going to be if they're testing it?
I don't understand anything about any of that shit, but what I do understand is that, like, I'm sure that, number one, the light and the sound has to fuck you up, and you probably get some kind of fucking... it probably fucks with your mind a little bit, seeing something that's that huge and that destructive. That probably...
How deaf did it make him?
I mean, as fuck, bud.
Like, no hearing?
At the end of his life, yeah.
And that's like what they pinpointed it to.
He
Like,
was like, I can't remember what all exactly was wrong with him, but like all of the degenerative brain diseases that are like out, like, you know, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, all those, you know, like he was fucked up. And like I remember, you know, I think it was the last time that I saw him. Maybe not. No, I think there was a couple of times after that. One of the last times I saw him, I pull up, you know, we're out up in the mountains, and you've been there. I don't want to, you know,
yeah,
say exactly quite where.
chill,
Hey, buddies.
chill.
But you know, I pull up and there's that ditch on the side of the road, and this motherfucker's sitting in the riding lawnmower in the ditch, just rocking back and forth, and he doesn't realize like what's going on. And I was like, oh, dude.
Like that he's mowing the lawn in the first place,
I
or
don't know.
that he's in
but
a ditch.
He's lost. Like, I mean, he's fucking staring up into the sky. And I was like, oh, goddamn. And so I hop out of the car, and this was like, you know, I don't even know. I was like fucking 14, 15 at the time, maybe. And, you know, I hop out, and I push the lawnmower out of the ditch because, like, you know, it's in gear. It's moving, but not really. Push it up out of the ditch. And, like, he doesn't even...
Is he acknowledging that
No, he doesn't even realize what's going on. And he just continues to mow the fucking grass.
He's like, all right, see ya.
I'm just like, and I'm...
Thanks for the cheeseburger.
My mind has exploded by this point. I'm like, what the fuck? And,
That just scares me.
yeah.
I don't want to have my
so,
mind go.
You know, Mom drives up to the house, and it's a pretty long driveway. So I'm walking up, walk through the field, whatever. Get up to the house, and I'm washing my hands. And... I'm washing my hands in the bathroom's, I don't know, 10 yards away from the back patio, and I just hear this, like, faint cry, and I'm like, what in the fuck? And...
Marquise, pet him.
Come here, buddy. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So I, you know, finish washing my hands, and I go out, and he is laying there, and he fucking slipped, fell, and smacked his head on a rock, and cracked his fucking skull open, and he's bleeding everywhere.
Damn.
And I'm just like, and we're up in the mountains, and I'm just like, I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm like, what?
It's like, this is the worst headache I've ever
Me
had.
and my Nana, like, sit there and hold his fucking head together or whatever for, like, a pretty decent period of time. And I'm like, you know, basically going off of fucking Boy Scout training at this point, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And, yeah.
Putting the tourniquet around his forehead.
Take a wild guess on how long it took the ambulance to get there.
This is the time it was like 2 hours, wasn't it?
Hour and a half.
That's
They
insane.
got lost, bruh.
They got lost.
They got lost.
That's how people die.
Yeah.
That's how, yeah. I mean, dude, like, there was so much blood all over fucking everything. It was insane. And, like, I'm sure part of my brain has blocked off some of that, so I don't remember exactly what happened. But I do remember it was fucking crazy.
What do you think two questions. One, what do you think the loudest thing you've ever heard was? And number two, what do you think the most bloody situation you've ever been in has been? For me, like, I don't know the loudest thing, but I know the thing that fucked my ears up the most.
Bloody situation.
One time I was a kid. I was like 12 years old, too old to be doing this. I was in like the drive-thru with my mom in the back seat of her van, just waiting to get McDonald's, and I just put my airsoft gun up to my ear, and I was like, I wonder what happens if I pull the trigger. And I had no BBs in it, but I put it up to my ear and pulled it, and then the air just shot into my ear, and then my ear was ringing for like 30 minutes. I was spooked. I was like, damn, dude, that was really dumb.
When I was, what was I? I don't know, 8 or 9. No older. I might have been 7. I don't know. I was young.
It was like 21 or 3.
I was a kid, and I was hunting with my shithead dad. And
Shout out shithead dad.
Nope. Psych, bitch. But anyways,
Retract,
we're out hunting.
shout out.
We're out hunting, and we have a 7mm, 7mm rem mag, and it's a pretty big fucking gun. If you know guns, I mean, it's not small for sure. It is. I mean, it'll take down a pretty big animal. So we're deer hunting with this fucking 7mm, and so we're up in the mountains, like hiking, a couple miles out, and we get to this spot, and I've been trying to find the spot for years, and I have no fucking idea where it's at. and it is a pretty decent size, probably a 4,000 square foot house in the middle of the fucking woods. And it is in a clearing, and it's a flat clearing, and there's a creek that runs all the way around the house, and there's a driveway that is the only split, only way to get out. Pretty fucking sweet. So we're up there, and, we look around the house, whatever, and then, we go out of the house and cross the creek and, start heading up the mountain and see a pretty decent sized buck, okay? And I'm like a child, okay? I'm very small. I probably weighed fucking 40 pounds at this time, if not less than that.
The buck is bigger than Cole.
No, the gun is bigger than Cole, significantly, okay? And I'm carrying this fucking thing. And we have a little monopod to prop it up on, but, we see it, and he's like, you see it? And I was like, I see it. And he's like, go for it. And so I'm standing up on a fucking, whatever, pretty decent incline hill, and I take the fucking shot at this deer, and the fucking rifle blows me clean off my ass.
Yeah, I was just imagining the kick.
It blew me into the air. It was the craziest shit ever. I had no hearing protection on, no glasses on. I didn't have shit on.
Damn.
Okay, listen. Take the shot. Knocks me on my ass. I go fucking flying. Cannot hear a goddamn thing. I cannot hear anything. He's like yelling at me at this point. I don't fucking hear shit. I'm just like, what's going on? And
you're just shell shocked. Like,
did not fucking hit the deer. Did not get close. Okay, the scope was over a foot off. Okay, over a foot at like 50 yards. Like, get fucked, bud. You're not gonna hit anything.
Y'all just got a little too excited and took the shot.
Well, no, he just didn't think about, maybe possibly sighting the gun in before we went out hunting, with your little kid. And so I blow my fucking ears out. I mean, I cannot hear shit for 3 or 4 hours. Like, I cannot hear anything. Like, he's looking at me, like, talking in my ear, yelling, nothing. I don't hear dick. And that was definitely the loudest thing.
Any blood?
Out of my ears?
Yeah.
No. But I could not hear anything for, like, the rest of the day. And then also, the last time that I was in that general vicinity, I was just, walking around checking it out. It'd been a while since I'd been there. And I'm wearing shorts, like athletic shorts, and some tennis shoes, no socks, and no shirt. And I stepped on a fucking, I think it was a copperhead, but I stepped on the fucker. I just wasn't paying attention. Like, I was looking at the pond or something, stepped on this fucking copperhead, and I'm just like, oh shit, like, realized the snake jumped back, and then, like, I'm looking at it, staring there from, whatever, 5-10 feet away, and I'm like, that is a fucking copperhead, see the pattern, everything, see the eyes, and I'm like, okay. I was like, yep, mm-hmm.
You stepped on its copperhead.
I stepped on the fucking snake, and I don't know how I didn't, get got, but I was like, okay. And I was just kind of shaking for a second, and then I was like, okay. And I go back up to the house, I go in there, and I look at my mom and look at Dad, and I'm like, I just stepped on a fucking copperhead. I was like, I'm gonna go shoot it. And they're just like, what?
I'm gonna go murder this animal that I found.
What in the fuck are you talking about? I was like, listen, I'm walking right up. I was like, it's at, the corner of the driveway. I was like, you're gonna be down there one night fucking, or one day, feeding the birds, and you're gonna step on him, and he's gonna fucking kill you. I was like,
trying to help the family.
I was like, listen, I'm just out here, doing mountain stuff. And so I go out there with my fucking 9mm. And I'm like looking at him, and he's like slithering around. He doesn't give a fuck right now. And then I'm just like, all right, whatever. I get real close, and then I just fucking unload on him.
Oh my! You're like 2 inches away from it, and you empty a clip on it. It's just
probably
like,
about
no
5
more
feet.
snake.
Probably about 5 feet, and like it was a decent sized snake, but snakes are thin, and when you hit a snake with a bullet, like. A shotgun's a little bit different, but you hit a snake with a bullet and they bounce. Like they fucking shoot themselves up in the air. It's crazy.
Wait, to like dodge it or
Yeah,
from the
it's
impact?
Like a reaction. They like their whole body like stiffens up and they spring up, whatever. It's crazy.
Fucking slippery
so,
snake.
I'm hitting him. I had 9 rounds in the mag, and I hit him. I think like 4 times with the first mag, and like he's like fucker went everywhere. Like he's like 10 feet away now. God.
Damn, I thought you'd have him.
And well, no, I mean I fucking hit him, but he's still moving. Like I hit him right under the neck, and then I hit him like down his body a couple of times. But I didn't get like a really good, clean, like piercing body shot that like whatever. And so I'm like, okay, fuck. And then I slap another mag in and dump it into him. And then he's still wiggling around a little bit at this point.
Like little ninjas.
He's not moving. He's not moving. So I've shot him. I've put 18 rounds at this snake. I probably
What
hit
the
him like
fuck?
7 or 8 times. And I'm just like, okay.
I would think one bullet would split it.
I mean, yeah, if you fucking put the gun point blank up to him,
Yeah.
blow him in half. But you know, it's copperhead, so I don't really want to go up and touch it or get into striking distance. And so I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I got enough ammo. Like, I'll just fucking shoot him until he's dead. And so, you know, I finished shooting him. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's dead. Like, I see him bleeding. There's snake blood everywhere. I was like, you know, I see the hole. It's like probably 2 inches below his head. And I was like, okay. I was like, I think he's good. And then I go for my, you know, nice long 3-hour hike up in the mountains. And I come back, and he is just dead as fuck. Just
I thought you were
laying
gonna
there.
say he was just gonna be like standing up, like you
Just-
thought you got me,
dude.
bitch.
He's just curled up in a ball, and I'm drunk at this point because, you know, obviously you got to take beers on the hike. And so I'm drunk at this point, and I just go up and I kick him square into the pond. Like, I mean,
Little bitch.
It was like a field goal kick, and yeah, it was. I was like, all right, well, problem solved.
It's got to be the most disrespectful way to leave this
But-
earth, getting fucking punted into a lake.
Yeah, dude. The next time I go down there, I gotta go pick up some snake rounds because there's one of those barns is like infested with
Jesus.
copperheads. Yeah,
I'll go on that war with you,
yeah, I'm down.
dude. Have you ever had snake before?
I'm not trying to eat a copperhead.
Not a copperhead, but like, have you ever ate snake?
I
I'll
probably-
eat any meat that I'm given.
I don't know if I've had snake, but I've had a lot of crazy shit. I've had shark, I've had gator, I've had frog, turtle.
I think I've had shark before.
I've had like every
I think
kind
so.
of like
I love seafood.
sea urchin, whatever. What it's called uni, but it tastes like grass.
If a girl tells me she doesn't like seafood, I break up with her. I would eat
Right.
dog.
Really?
If you were there at a
Dude, you wanna hear
market,
something fucked
if you were there at a
up?
market and the meat was already there, would you try it?
Dude, this motherfucker Dalton said he tried it.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like if it was already dead,
He
it's
said
happening anyway.
Like there are places where like it doesn't look as bad as they make it out to. Like it's somewhat like yes, you may think it's fucked up.
Like they
morally,
euthanize it
but-
instead of like
but
boiling it alive.
Sanitary wise, it's the same as like watching somebody butcher a pig and then you do a pig roast.
Yeah,
Like, you know, it's like the same.
I wouldn't want to watch the dog die. If I had to watch the dog die, I wouldn't eat it. I don't think.
And he
but
said,
if
I'm
it-
pretty sure he said that it's like you pull up there and it's like you're ordering like Kung Pao chicken, but it's like dog.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't look at you weird when you order. Like, can I get the number 9? They're like, the number 9, huh? You dirty bastard. But I hear most exotic meats like that just end up tasting like chicken. Like, but
Turtle, frog, gator, all of it. It all tastes like fucking chicken. Fuck squirrel, dude. Squirrel tastes like shit.
yeah,
not a big
dude,
fan.
squirrel is like Fallout food.
And I'm not like deer has to be like venison has to be prepared a special way for it to be not like shitty.
Dude, you hear about the fucking Wagyu burgers at Arby's? It's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Like, Wagyu is like some of the best steak you can get your hands on, right? It's expensive, it's
like
nice.
100, if it's not $120 for a small steak, it's not real.
Yeah, or it's just low. Like, even the Kroger Wagyu I've had, like, it was
That
pretty
shit's
good,
not
but
real.
it's not real.
No,
And
better
so when
than-
I saw them
like a good
saying at
deal,
Arby's,
way better.
a Wagyu burger, get the fuck out of here. You guys are just jumbling letters together at this point. Like, that's Wagyu burger would be slap, but it's not coming from
I had
Arby's.
one, and they're like $45.
Yeah, no. Dude,
Good though.
I mean we're at an hour and 30.
Guys sitting over there. Are we gonna wrap it up soon?
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up now cuz my phone's about to fucking conk out, but
Well,
we should have a part 2.
appreciate y'all having me, and yep.
It was a good time.
Some beers beforehand and shit too.
Cole
Nice little
Rogan.
Introduction to the humble abode here.
Yeah,
It's
pull
the-
up. The address is
This is the den.
Yeah, but nobody's invited to this den. Are you inviting the audience to the den?
Nobody's nobody's
Yeah.
invited. I don't like people. So
Yeah, no. Fuck people. But all right.
most of y'all are stupid.
Love you. Goodbye
y'all.
from the Scheunemans. You know, shop Scheuneman. Get yourself something nice. Fucking killing it. But yeah, have a wonderful day.
Fabric.
Fine. Go fuck yourself.
Yeehaw, bud.